Welcome to our coverage of the Super Bowl Cut Bowl 2018. I'm Sam Dworkin here with my colleague, Wizard and Chief Statistician Martin Madriaga. We've got a lot to talk about today. We just closed the polls on our first round, 32 bowl cuts, 16 matchups, 1 week of heart-pounding action. What can you say, Martin? It's been a thrilling ride, and I'm really excited to show all fans out there what happened.
Wait.
Let's jump right into it. The Ringo region, our first region that we'll be taking a look at. We had number 1, Kaylee Cantrell, facing off against number 8 seed Morgan Garber. Kaylee, the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, and she showed why here, taking home 93% of the votes. That military issue bowl cut, flawless. Look at the tight bangs here, incredible, really nice. Strange hairdo on her mother as well, who I assume is her mother. Shout out Kaylee and her mother. Next one, number 2 seed Life Smucker going up against number 7 in this internationally travel approved photo of Evan Chiplock. He's on the camera right now. He wants to know what happened. And I'm sorry to tell you, Evan, you're holding the camera and you're going to be holding back tears when you see the result. Life took this one home, 85%. His father's going to be very pleased that even though he was unable to cut a straight line across his son's forehead, he's still taking a straight line into the Sweet 16, and we'll see what he does down the line. Next up, we had number 3 seed Shifra Samuel against number 6 Colin O'Shea, the young heartthrob. But unfortunately for Colin, they saw her rolling, they were hating, patrolling, but they did not catch her riding dirty. She came home 60% of the votes, and she's on to the Sweet 16 as well. Now, our final matchup of the region. Number 4, Russ Rizzo and his patented bowl mullet against me and my gap teeth and my 2 soccer coaches. And this was the most tightly contested matchup of the region. 53% said that Russ should move on to the Sweet 16. I gotta admit, I'm pretty bummed about this result, but I have to give it to Russ. Great style points, interesting onesie, athletic stance, understandable he would move on to the next round. And here we have the full regional bracket. We can see who's gonna be matching up in the Sweet 16. And let's take a closer look at these matchups. First off, we've got number 1 seed Kaylee Cantrell up against Russ Rizzo. We just talked about Martin. I have to say that I can't see Kaylee losing this early on in the competition, despite the cuteness of Russ, despite maybe an alternative take on the bowl cut. I just think that Kaylee's too strong, and I would be very surprised if I don't see her in the Elite 8.
You know what they say? Styles make fights. And we got 2 unorthodox styles here. We got a bowl cut mullet, a bullet on your right, and we got a classic bowl cut on your left. Should be interesting how the people vote.
All right, and then in our second matchup, we have number 2 Life Smucker against number 3 Shifra Samuel. I have to say, Martin, I could see an upset happening here, as Shifra, we saw in the first round, rallied a lot of fans on social media. She reached out to all her friends all over the world, and they helped her out, they got her through, and I think she might do the same thing here in the Sweet 16.
It just goes to show, if you can harness the power of the vote, you can move on to the next round. Let's see if that works for a Shifra right here in the second round.
That's the beauty of the tourney magic. All right, Martin, you're up. Let's hear what the next region has for us.
So the next region, we got the George region. Everyone's favorite Beetle, everyone's favorite bowl cut. In round 1, Dixon Muller versus David Martini. Pretty much a David and Goliath matchup here, no pun intended. But at the end of the day, we got Dixon Muller coming in with 90% of the vote. No shocker to anyone there, except maybe for David Martini. In round 2, we got a first key matchup. A lot of you on social media and in person, thanks for reaching out, thought that Sean Young was criminally underseeded as a 7, and you know what? You were right, because Sean came away with the biggest upset of the first round with 76% of the vote. At 3, we have the battle of the Kates or the Caitlins, depending on how you want to say their name. Kate Ursu, Caitlin Bloomer, And Kate Ursu with 80% of the vote here. A little bit of a runaway contest for my liking, but you know what? You guys are the ones that voted. You guys are the ones that get to decide. And at 4-5, another Kate, Caitlin Cody going up against Lynn Nakamura. And again, another result that we saw that was a little closer, or maybe a little further than we thought it was going to be. But 67%, 2/3 of you thought that Caitlin Cody was going to advance. So here's the bracket in the George region. We got Dixon going up against Caitlin Cody, and Kate Ursu going up against the People's Champion so far in terms of, who was upset, Sean Young at 7. Let's take a closer look at it. Dixon versus Caitlin. Really hard for me to analyze this one because there is so much that is similar about these two photos. The only difference here is just the whopping color of this bowl cut here on the left. I mean, let's be real, whatever's going on with the brotherly love thing, that the mise-en-scène of the photo really helps. So we'll see if that can help Dixon move on to the Elite Eight, or maybe Caitlin Cody with this more simple approach takes it into to the next round. At 3-6, Kate versus Sean. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Sean moving to the Elite Eight with this bowl cut here. Again, it's an upset-worthy bowl cut, and Caitlin Ursu has a similar bowl cut, but I don't know. There's more focus on the rival, so we'll see if she comes away, going to the Elite Eight. Next, the Paul region, everyone's least favorite beetle. We all know that. We got Jen Chow going up against John Boxberger, and if you voted for John Boxberger, you were wrong, very wrong, because Jen Chow coming away with 95% of the vote. Biggest win of round 1, no shocker there. BD shaped like a bowl cut. Many of you echoed it on social media, and thank you for that. Let's keep this train moving. Here I am at number 2, going up against Brendan Howard. Again, I'll repeat the same phrase from the last matchup. If you voted for Brendan Howard, you were also wrong, because I was the winner here with 92% of the vote. I can't say that I'm shocked, but if you're one of the people who are shocked, shame on you. Next, we have number 3, Newman Granger going up against Matt Martini. We got a smug look on Newman's face because he knows that he's moving on with 3/4 of the vote at 75%. And at 4-5, we got Ted Gregson versus North Smucker. Key matchup alert here. Very key, because right now we're going to see an exercise in what the people actually wanted. Is it about a great bowl cut, or is it about a great photo? A lot of you debated this on social media. And in this matchup, at least, 2/3 of you thought that a great photo outlasted a better bowl cut without a great photo. So, interesting discussion to be had here later on. Let's look at the bracket. Jen Chow going up against North Smucker at the 1-5 matchup. You got me there at the bottom going up against Newman. Interesting to see how that can play out. But let's take a look at the bowl cuts. I think every time I look at this photo, Jen, I forget about the tongue. So much we often talk about, the bowl cut shaped like a beanie, but that's a tongue out there waving. I think her dad knows it, and he's laughing at it, and we're laughing at it, as an audience. So that should be interesting. But North looks like he's happy to be here, and he should be happy to be here because he's going up against a powerhouse. So we'll see how that plays out. And then here you have me, a little seductive versus Newman. A little smug. So, seductive or smug, it's up to you, it's up to the people. What do you guys care about? Next region.
All right, we're going to round this out with the John region. First off, we got Catherine Daly, the tiny dancer. She faced off against number 8, BJ Moon, who looks absolutely miserable in this photo. Not sure what was happening, but I'm happy to be able to tell him, BJ, you're not moving on, you're done. And Catherine pure let it on by him with 83% of the votes. No surprise there, number 1 seed. So we'll see what she does in the next round. Next matchup, number 2, Billy Riano, one of our favorite bowl cuts in the entire competition. Faced off against number 7, Mike Rodriguez. And I have to say, Martin, I think that they penalized Mike for showing us just the tips, because Billy came in with 89% of the votes. He was the highest vote getter for this region, which was a very tightly contested region, actually.
Yeah,
so really excited to see what he does in the next round. Number 3 seed, Tyler King. Number 6, Luke Calderera. Upset alert. Tyler learned in this round that the higher up the ladder you climb, the harder you fall. because he was upset by Luke Calderera bringing in 62% of the votes. He's out of Houston, Texas. He proved that everything is bigger in Texas, including the bowl cut swag, and so he's happy to move on to the next round as well. Number 4, Cole Hammock up against number 5, Ali Carr. Martin, this was one of your favorite matchups in this round, and who did you predict would come out of it?
I mean, if it's not going to be Ali Carr here, I'll be shocked.
I'm sorry to say that
No.
the pale fortitude of Cole Hammock decimated Ali Carr and her pearls, and he's moving on to the next round. This is a really great bowl cut. We saw a pattern in the voting in this first round that people really are respecting the more traditional bowl cut, whereas we see here Ali Carr had the layer cake, as we like to call it. Cole, just textbook style. That's why he moved on to the next round. So here we see all the seeds of this John region. And let's take a look at these matchups for the Sweet 16. We have number 1, Catherine Daly, going up against Cole Hammock. And I think this might be, Martin, I think this has potential to be a moment where a Titan falls. Because, as I just said, Catherine sporting a little less of a traditional bowl cut. She's got the 2 layers going on here, whereas Cole has the traditional bowl cut. And I think just that intensity in his eyes, that might carry it on through. That being said, Catherine, a lot of great additions. In addition to her hair, she's got a bow up top, she's got a bow over here, she's got a crazy stance. And so this is going to be a tightly contested round, I think.
One's ready to pirouette, the other one's ready to do battle in the bowl cut tournament. So we'll see. Is it about having fun, or is it about winning in the Super Bowl Cut Bowl? We're not sure yet.
Anything's possible. The next and final round for the Sweet 16, number 2, Billy Riano, number 6, Luke Calderera. Really amusing photos. You're laughing over there, Martin. I understand it. These are great. But I gotta say, Billy is my pick to come out of this region. I think he's going to the Final Four. Both just on execution, there's not a single hair out of place here, and the fact that he could very well be a junior in high school when this photo was taken, whereas Luke Calderera, cute kid, but I think he was probably in 3rd grade. I see him losing in this round. So that wraps it up for our Sweet 16 coverage. The polls are now open. Make sure you go and vote. And until next time, we'll see what happens in the Sweet 16. This has been Super Bowl Cut Bowl 2018, 16-16.
16.